me that would be underhanded and you use a very good
Huh?
What was the word that you used? You like to be what?
To be a good physician.
No, you said I like to operate
Be
more
concealed.
concealed. I don't want someone that's concealed in my business. I want someone that can, but not someone that is. So I'm concealed.
Okay, good.
Jetpack to me means escape. And personal escape. Because a jetpack is for you.
Somebody was a good person.
Yes.
But concealed,
Well,
yes, again, yes.
Submarine, you have a crew with you. Means, like to me, preferring a submarine means you only prefer certain group of people to be close to you because you trust your crew. You wouldn't bring any person to work with you in the submarine. You know your crew. So I think this basically indicates that you are comfortable with only your group of friends, your specific group of friends. You can sometimes have social anxiety when you meet new people, for example. That's what.
With a previous sports car, you can do more than one thing.
Yeah, this is.
But
We can.
yeah, and jetpack is also a kind of group team that they can fly together. Yeah,
You have one.
they take each other from the hands and they fly together with round that they create around as a ring. Yeah.
But a jetpack on its own is something that you wear only, even if you're holding someone else, like rock climbing.
They're
Even if
doing
you're
the same thing
connected.
that you do.
Like you can do it by yourself. You don't need people to do it.
But okay, if they're going to climb from the plane, they're going to climb together. Okay? At the same time, they take hands from each other and they do a ring. So they go down together. So it's something between the rock climbing that we said before.
Okay.
But you're talking about jumping out of a plane. That's not a jetpack. A jetpack is something that actually propels you from the ground up.
It's those bags which
It's
have
not the
rockets
ones
in the
that
back, and they blow, and then you
Oh,
levitate.
there are other things. Okay.
Okay. You're talking about parachutes.
As
Yeah.
Yes?
Okay. I was
It's a
gonna-
little bit like Superman, you know?
Okay.
Superman.
Okay.
Flying.
No, that's
Yeah, I think that your observation is correct. Because without the jetpack, I just want to take off. I just want to take off. I'm not interested in the transportation. Okay, so let's look at section 3. What superpower would you most like to have? Flying, X-ray vision, bionic strength, extrasensory perception, invisibility.
What is bionic strength?
Superhuman strength. I think it's superhuman strength.
Yeah.
Superhuman.
Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
Superman,
But
yes.
the word bionic is entails something that's mechanical, right?
I would
Like
choose
the
Yes, you are sort of,
Bionic man?
yes, you are like a cyborg, like Schwarzenegger in Judgment Day. Part robot, part human, but more robot. And you are really, yes, you're really Superman.
So I would choose the extrasensory reception.
Extrasensory perception.
I would choose X-ray.
Why, let me ask, why? Out of gentleman curiosity, why?
Okay, I just want to be, now there's a bi-strength person that is like outside of the human being in everyday life. So this one you are as all the people, you look as all the people, but your perceptions are more. So
ESP means that basically you can read people's minds, for example.
yeah, okay, we can see and
You can read people's minds.
minds. Yeah.
That's an example of an ESP power, for example.
Uh-huh.
Or telekinesis
yeah.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
no,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, it's like that you know what he's going to think.
Yeah,
You decode, you are able to decode immediately what the other has in mind.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask.
So basically you
You
can
can
see.
shoot, you can shoot first, and then you don't even have to discuss it later on, because you knew it from the very beginning.
And somehow you can see the person, you can you can tell what kind of mask the person is wearing.
So,
Yeah.
so I can protect myself also.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we know these things from the science fiction films, and we have things. Okay. Yes. Interesting. Okay. What about invisibility?
I'd go with invisibility.
You go with invisibility. It becomes more and more interesting because in a submarine you are invisible.
This is the point. It gives me self. This is the point. Me wanting invisibility. I can do stuff without people's attention. I can without getting a lot of attention.
from one point of view, it's very interesting because you might be there and the others can see you and you hear everything what they're saying.
Yeah, you can
But
spy.
from
Is
the
that
other
what
point-
you have in mind?
But from the other point of view, I think that is someone who wants to be invisible, wants to stay alone, doesn't want to be invisible of the others. He's scared to face with the others. Or he doesn't have the force to go on. He just wants to be invisible during all his life.
No,
The others,
it's an
I don't
ability.
mean during all his life, but I mean that you don't want to show the others that you're here. The others, you
Oh,
don't
yeah,
want
I
the
get what
person
you
to
mean.
see your presence. So you're making yourself invisible. You're not giving importance to yourself.
You don't want being invisible implies that you don't want that the others see you. That you don't want that the others see you. So the next question is, why don't you want that the others see you?
Does it imply you're a coward if you choose invisibility? Because you don't want to be seen.
You don't want to be seen.
It could either be cowardice or malice. Criminals don't want to be seen for obvious reasons. It could be others. Doesn't necessarily mean someone that's quiet and,
Yeah, of course. Someone
buttoned up. Could be someone that has
very
a need for invisibility.
If we'll be invisible, so why are we living? We said that everything we do because the others are looking at us. We're thinking for the others' mind. So,
Well, you can, in my opinion, I'm choosing invisibility because I want to know how others would react when I'm not there.
Yeah,
So that's why I would choose
you can see
invisibility. The truthful. I would see the person's true feelings
things.
or true things. My opinion.
Yes, but all of them so far they have, there is a certain kind of weakness in it. Vera, what would you confess?
okay. Only one, yes, because I would like to have more than one.
No, would you,
Okay, let's say X-ray vision, because I'll be able, again, with the help of my sensual perception, I will be able to see through the walls what's happening and whether there is danger, so how to avoid it, and again, you can see you might predict possible actions by other people, what they have against you, and so, let's say, and as a secret agent.
the secret things, okay.
But
Eliana, let us know what you would
Yeah, I would choose the ESP.
ESP.
Yeah, because it's better to know what other people are thinking, so that it's a way to get more information about what goes on
Yeah, you
around you.
don't need to be invisible if you have music. Because you know their mind, you can read their mind. So, but it's not necessary. I want to
However,
be
sometimes-
invisible. I want to be
no,
there.
but what if they have a superpower to block the extrasensory perception, for instance? It's not a superpower, which is against this
It's not
superpower.
here. We're not talking
It's always hypothetical.
Because by reading its mind, you can also know something which is not happening now. You can also know what happened in the past, or what one is planning for the future. So you get, let's say, more global understanding of what goes on around you.
Mm.
So,
But isn't it too much to know everything?
Yeah, sometimes the truth can be scary. Like
Yeah,
if you know like the absolute truth, not all people can handle the absolute truth of every person.
But this one is for the persons that are very strong and yeah, you know, they're faced with
Perhaps.
heredity and they face with the difficulties
Perhaps.
sometimes. So
I find the more I think about it, that these options are very, very tricky.
yeah.
You know why? Because this is invisibility. There is something which lets the alarm clock ring. What does it mean to be invisible? Why to be invisible? Doing what? Achieving what? That the others do not recognize you. That the others do not know that you are there. Have you something to hide? Have you something to hide? Because you don't want to be there, or do you consider yourself so important that it is better that the others don't see you because of your importance? Huh? And so,
I think that when you're invisible, like when there's something that happened, or you say that this person had done something that is not good, then you can spy on this person by being invisible, following this person wherever it's going without being seen. Hello, man.
Well, personally, for me, I get nervous if I get a lot of attention. That's why I'd rather have the ability to be invisible sometimes.
I'm very pleased that you express this so openly now, because this is what this is what I had in mind from the very beginning, but I didn't dare to say it openly.
Well,
But now,
it has to start at some point.
but okay, that's of course, submarine that goes together, but of course it is a motivation. It is a motivation why you want to be invisible. Of course, if you want to be invisible during a conspiracy meeting where terrorists are planning a nuclear attack on New York or something like that. Okay. But again, if you have such an imagination, isn't it a little bit too weird? Isn't it a little bit too adventurous?
To be invisible.
It's a little bit too much Hollywood. Huh?
But that's life is you cannot trust. So by doing this, I would know the person who I can trust.
For a moment, huh?
Well, I would really know the person, I guess. If I see the person and I'm not there, and then this person is acting in a certain way, I would know. I would perceive.
Okay. Do we have other options?
What are Mustafa? What
What
do you
about
mean?
flying?
Flying. Flying, you would like.
Yes, but I asked because no one.
Is anyone flying? No.
If it's a combination of all of them, yeah, it's definitely nice.
I would choose that actually. I'm in between flying and invisibility.
I wouldn't mind a bionic strength.
Bionic strength. Why?
X-ray, what X-ray vision?
Oh, why? Well, it's the most realistic.
And then you could be easily controlled if you're a bionic man. You can be reprogrammed
Well,
and access with a new software.
it's not about that.
Yeah. Somebody can be
It's about just the strength.
You know what I would answer if I would be in that interview? Flying. You know why?
Why?
Because it is the most innocent answer. Because all the other answers, all the other possibilities say have a lot of psychological implications, which the other one could hook me on.
Why do you want to
Yes.
So if you choose
All
flying
the
so
other
well,
options are in one or the other way revealing.
like you said about being concealed?
To be yes. For instance,
No, to be concealed.
or to have extra physical powers. This would imply that the person is suffering from a sort of an inferiority complex, because if you want to have more strength, then this implies that you have the ideas that you don't have enough strength, so that you feel inferior to the others. Could be. It always depends on the person who is doing the test. But these sections of yes.
so if you choose flying, so maybe one less danger for the others.
If I choose flying, I keep my cards for myself. I don't reveal myself
So
to the
I
other.
put them as my
So
big things that I have.
yes. So the other might say, okay, flying.
What are
Okay.
you doing with flying?
Let's take it. Flying. What can we say about it? Nothing much we can say about it. But
There is
okay,
something.
we accept it. Whereas all the extrasensory perception, invisibility, bionic strength, X-ray visions, all these things imply that you want to be stronger than you are. And if someone wants to be stronger than the person is, that's sort of another form of technological extension of bodybuilding.
But when analyzing the answers, flying is very simplistic. As the moment you think of a superhero, you think of flying. So yes, it's innocent, but it's also simplistic.
Yeah.
That can be negative depending on where you're trying to work. You're trying to work for the CIA. I don't know if they'd be very willing to take someone that, it's like the novel, the best-selling word. It's the first thing that people would think of is flying. It might not reveal much about you as an employee, but it also reveals something that you don't want people to think.
Exactly. Yes. They have, if you go to the CIA website, they show you that they have a lot of different jobs. What you can do, they need all kinds of people. But this is what they are telling you. I believe they don't need need a lot of different people. They need a particular kind of personality, and that's why they do this job. Okay, let's continue. Which of these would you like to pursue? Climbing to the top of Mount Everest, splurging on a designer wardrobe in Europe, sipping champagne at an elite New York social gala, walking the Great Wall of China, sunbathing on your yacht in the Mediterranean. Oh,
This is a tricky question too.
all of them are very, very tricky.
I think this relates to the first question in a way, indirectly.
Maybe.
Climbing to the top of Mount Everest.
What you want? To pursue the question is asking what
Yes,
you
yes,
want to
yes, yes.
pursue.
Yeah, very lonely. Takes you away from the world.
Not anymore. Not anymore. There is every summer there is the Mount Everest has become a tourist destination. Even disabled people and children are climbing Mount Everest, and it is. They say it's a rather depressing activity, because there is one spot under the top, which is just 90 meters or so, and you have to wait. Sometimes you have to wait for 5 or 6 hours
Oh,
before the others are coming down.
oh.
I was between working in the Great Wall of China and sunbathing on your watch in the Mediterranean.
You wouldn't do that, or you would like to do that.
No, I am between those two.
Yeah, between those two.
If I want to be in Great Wall of China because I haven't seen it. If I've seen it before, so I would do sunbathing yes, in the Mediterranean.
But isn't it boring?
What?
Isn't it boring to sunbathe on your yacht? In the
No.
Mediterranean?
I would prefer to sip champagne at the social gala.
Yes, me too. Social gala in New York.
We also would like to sip champagne.
Everybody else.
Well, I'm not a sports person, so I wouldn't do anything. So, but for me, that's the best.
I'm gonna go with the unusual and choose walking the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, but what? Yeah, if I had seen it before, I would have done the last one. If I had, yeah.
But why would you like the Great Wall of China?
I'm just fascinated with Chinese tradition.
It's like Egyptian pyramids.
It's a subjective thing. That's all.
Yeah, but to walk. What is the thing but to walk? It's a huge.
Well, it's nice when you experience the old Chinese, like you can actually relate to how they used to live, how they used to guard their how they like protect their borders against the enemy.
So to go back a little bit to the history.
Yeah, you can actually relate to the people who used to protect the villages of China, you know.
And
Yeah, and that it's fascinating.
Is
But I
that
look
the same
thinking
like
about-
climbing the
it's just
to
a
the top of Mount Everest?
is it boring?
Ah, crap, I'm sleepy.
What is one?
When we look at these 5 options, we have three options related to tourism. Chinese Wall, Mount Everest, sunbathing at the yacht. That's tourism, that's excursion. Then we have 2 social events. Splurging on a designer wardrobe in Europe or sipping champagne.
design the wardrobe.
The wardrobe. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Because it looks more interesting.
Anyone else?
I would take the same thing, splurging on a designer wardrobe. It's fun to see.
She loves it.
Yeah. Like, you can see a designer, you can see the designer mind, ideas, what you want to express in the world. It's different, not like you're watching, but it's like you're looking, someone who painting just a picture and you're looking.
That's the key word. That's the key word. The reason why these questions are asked is to find out whether or not you are creative. So, climbing Mount Everest is definitely not creative. Lying on a yacht is definitely not creative. Walking around on the Chinese wall is definitely not creative. Sipping champagne in New York is okay, it's a social event, but it's definitely not creative. But being interested in fashion design, that's an indication for creativity. What do you say?
I have a problem with the word splurging. It doesn't it doesn't indicate interest, it indicates waste.
What do you, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I have an issue with semantics, like it's the words, it's what it says.
Yeah.
Splurging, like, literally, if you were to take someone that tells you, I'm interested in splurging in the word, that means that if you're working for me and I entrust money to you, you might not spend it necessarily on clothing, but you might spend it on equipment for the company that I need, but to the extent that you think I need it. It's the word. If it didn't say the word.
Correct, yes.
What about window shopping? Then I would think that's a good answer. Because then that does mean I'm interested in looking at art. But here it says splurging.
Yeah, but this is the reason that they want to make you confused, to not choose the right answer, the answer that they want.
Well, okay. Firstly, I should say that I'm a psychologist, so I understand where we're going with this. But the answer to any of these questions always has to be, why are you choosing it? It doesn't matter, if you put something down on a piece of paper and I read it, I am going to interpret it the way I have been raised, the things that I understand. And that's not important. What's important is how do you see it? So with these questions, we've all done this today. We've come to conclusions as to why it's good and why it's negative. If it's positive to you and you actually sell it as a point to me, then it's positive. That's my opinion.
So you mean that depends on the one who makes the interview.
And it depends on the perception that the person's answering. Like if someone says that they're interested in a horse and buggy, but they give me an explanation like that one, which to me was amazing, they know how to handle something that you cannot communicate with. In a business environment, you have to do that all the time. There are people around you that you cannot communicate on the same level. And yet you still command a reaction in the direction that you need.
Correct.
It's the explanation to me. It's not, the standard testing says if you say horse and buggy, you are not thinking in the future.
Okay, yes, correct, but don't forget, here we deal with the CIA.
I understand, but the CIA also is an organization that thinks very clearly about certain things, and that's part of it. It's why are you saying this? You've asked every one of us, why are we answering these questions? Not just, you know the answer, you know which one the CIA would actually select as the correct answer. But the reasons why people answer the questions the way they do is more important.
The reason why they answer them differently, that's I think that's interesting as well, because the way they answer it differently reveals their personality type. And according to the openings I have, I can select certain personality types to the job I have. So I might have a job for someone who wants to be invisible. So the one who wants to be invisible, this person, I cannot send them to the Milano Fashion Week. And so on. So let's continue. People think you are a genius, a jock, a risk taker, a comedian, a nerd. Remember the personality types we had the previous time, that was 3 weeks ago. Huh? We had
The craftsman.
the craftsman, yes, the driver. What else did we?
You said the tribal?
Driver.
Like driver?
Driver,
Yes,
yes.
I'm sorry.
Like we have the cross persuader
The
in the
persuader.
face of Paris Hilton because she wants to persuade, people to follow her route. Then we had the driver in the face of
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, yes, with
Tony
his
Montana, yes.
yes, because he wants to, prevail over others and to be the leader all the time. And then we had
Analytic.
what Kraft
Analytic.
The analytic.
analytic in the face of Angela Merkel because she's the one who does all the analysis. This is from the previous lecture. And the fourth we had the craftsman, yes,
The
the craftsman in the face of this German.
Christoph Waltz.
Christoph
Waltz,
Waltz.
the actor, the down-to-earth actor.
Yes, craftsman because he creates something and he's pragmatic. So we described these
Yeah.
4 categories, let's say.
So there is all these 4 different personalities. They always shine through in these questions. That somehow people have the idea that these 4 personality types exist. The genius, the jock, the risk taker, comedian, nerd. So, Dianna, you asked what a jock is.
Yeah, Borina told you.
Yes, you know what it is.
Innocent.
Huh?
Innocent.
Innocent.
Not only. It usually has to do with being someone into sports more so than studying, but not necessarily innocent.
You need to do sports more than
It's, yeah,
Athlete.
like
Athletic.
athletes, those
Physical.
that go into college with a sports scholarship, let's say, they're a jock.
uh-huh.
Girl or guy, same thing.
It's like a nerd, not a nerd, a scholarship. Clever.
But a scholarship based on athletic ability rather than
It's more
Intellectual
physical than intellectual.
No, like in the States, they get scholarships based
For
on
playing a
yes,
sport.
on soccer playing. Yes, and then they take the first places in every competition. They get
It's not unnecessary thing that you're dumb because you're a jock. It's just the overlying stereotype that you got into college because you play something, not because you're smart.
I know, it's an American culture.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do people think about you, Borina? What are you? Do they think?
Risk taker.
You are a risk taker. You are a risk taker. You're sure people told you that you are a risk taker? Yeah.
Sir, how would you answer this question if you're not very social? If you're not very social person.
Okay, I'll answer in the end. No, tell us, what do people tell you are?
Comedian.
A comedian. If you show photos to your friends driving with 250 kilometers an hour on the autobahn of Germany, I would say you are a risk taker and not a comedian. Huh?
But isn't that taking only one experience?
Yeah.
Perhaps overall,
Yeah.
he's a comedian.
Still was a risk.
He can risk.
One risk.
He can risk, but okay.
That we know of.
He take it as normal for you.
A
This is what you've heard overall?
I believe a comedian, a comedian is not taking any risks.
Really? Putting out a bad joke is not a risk? Have you ever been to a comedy club?
No, definitely not. Because if you put out a bad joke, you are protected.
By what? I'm sorry, I've been to comedy clubs, I know. By what?
By being like
By the others. The others leave you alone. The others would never take you as a victim. But the one who doesn't make any bold jokes or bad jokes or inappropriate jokes, they are those who permanently are the victims of the others.
Because they have to think about the others to make their jokes funny. They have to consider the others.
you would be like a joker in the old times.
The more bold you are, the more protected you are. To attack is always the best defense, as we know from chess, and it's in social environments the same. If you dare to behave inappropriate, you make the so-called quotation marks, the wrong joke, you attack, and by that you keep the others away from you.
Yes, if he's going to be at your back, so I don't think that's a good
No,
thing.
Our primary goal from the beginning was how to keep away from Perso and his dog.
Distance.
How to keep a distance. And by doing unusual things, we keep the distance.
Unusual.
Yes.
So you are unperceptive from the others.
Look, if you are in a professional environment and you have your desk with, let's say, 15 other people, and you come every day at the same time, and there is absolutely nothing exceptional with you, sooner or later your colleagues, they find out something exceptional about you because you are totally unexceptional. Whereas the one who is exceptional, there is nothing to find out about because the person is exceptional already. So you are in a much weaker position when you are unexceptional. You are in a much weaker position when you are always the listener. Whereas,
Not in every.
not, of course not. But as a general rule, I would say that's the way it is. And don't forget, we had in previous centuries at the royal courts, the fool was allowed to say what the others were not allowed to say. And the fool was respected and accepted because of his social position to tell the truth. So, in a way, the fool was always attacking. He did not have the need to defend himself. Whereas if you are, when you are not exceptional, when you are normal, or a little bit too normal, then you run the risk of being exposed because the others, something must be wrong. The person, why is he the way he is? So let's continue. If you were a fly on a wall, what would you want to hear? A reliable money-making stock tip, a insider scope on the next James Bond film, which gym your favorite entertainer uses, a famous cheese top secret recipe, what everyone really thinks of you.
What everyone really thinks about me.
I go with the top.
And here, you see, it is the same. It is almost the same question as the previous one. Huh?
What's superpower?
Yeah.
I go with the top secret recipe, top secret chef recipe, because I'd like to eat some good food. Yeah. I go.
You
with
yourself?
Huh?
No,
Oh,
you
for the
can
No, so I can make it to others. You know.
Ah,
This is different because if you're doing your chef business, you can open your own and you know there's.
Yeah, I can do a business from it.
I'm choosing the same.
Me too.
The top secret
You're always
recipe.
Topsy. Okay. Borina, tell us, what would you do?
I think when I was younger I would say the last one, but now who cares? I mean, I am what I am.
You know what the others are thinking about you anyway.
I'll choose a reliable one.
Yeah, me too.
What?
I would choose the reliable money-making stock tip.
Yes,
That would be nice.
nowadays.
Others?
Come on, Mariola.
Mariola, yes, tell us.
I was looking the second one inside their scope on the next James Bond film.
Carry on, girl.
Why would you do?
From all of these here answers, I think this is the one catch my mind.
And what would you gain from that?
I don't know, just looks more interesting to me.
Okay.
It's not making stuff deep, or it's not a famous chef top secret recipe. It's
Okay.
different.
Yeah. So I think we can agree upon to cross out the last one, what everyone really thinks of you, because if I want to know what really everyone thinks of me, why would I?
Yeah.
It's too much information.
Sometimes.
Why would I?
sometimes the truth.
Why am I interested in learning to know what everyone really thinks about me? Am I interested in what they other think about me? Maybe I'm not. If I am, then this again indicates a weakness.
What about
If I-
social monitoring?
Huh?
What about social monitoring? We are not alone. We're not islands.
No.
Is it not important to know? Of course, for me, it would be best if you would actually ask someone.
No, personally, I'm definitely not interested in what people think about me.
But you know, to a certain
I'm
extent.
not interested in it.
How can one be social without being interested in what other people?
I think
We
Because
relate
it's
with other
impossible
I
to
think
satisfy everyone.
I'm not talking about satisfaction
If
at
you
all.
know
Nice
it's
for
something
everyone, I think it's
indicated from
possible.
the others that don't know. So
I
it's
think it only matters as a first impression.
Well,
This
one
is
of the things.
that's what I think. It only matters as a first impression. Supposedly, you meet your boss at some dinner, and like after the dinner finished, you want to know what he thought about you because you want to know if he had a good impression about you or not.
Yeah,
The
if that's
fear,
not just
the
first
fear
time.
the fear all of us have is that others are talking about us.
Yeah, so it's impossible to be.
Imagine you are at a party, you say, oh my God, I have to leave, hi and bye, huh? And you leave. So as soon you leave the place, your first idea is, what will they talk about me now?
That's paranoia.
yes, there
It
are.
If that's paranoia, please then explain to me why you are interested in what people really think about you.
I already told you there is a concept of the social self-monitoring, and that is how we relate. So it's very important to keep in mind, not satisfied, but know who you are according to other people, because knowing who you are according to yourself it means nothing
Yeah,
in the
that's
real
also
world.
We agree on that.
Okay.
But the other part of the explanation is a sort of,
Definitely.
my understanding is sort of a modified paranoia. It's same.
Well, I think it's a question that has, these other questions had two meanings that in the end brought you to the same thing, like invisibility. It could either be for malice or it could be for cowardice. This one, the other options have nothing to do with the social world at all. It seems like you have no interest in being a social being. It talks about the stock market that's making money.
Yes, hold on.
Mhm.
The social being. But what everyone really thinks of you has an emotional connotation.
Yeah.
Has an emotional connotation. Yeah?
Mhm.
So if you switch on the radio and you listen to pop music, there is always a question you hear. Baby, do you still love me? Huh? That's the most famous question. Generally. Indicates that someone wants to be on the ground, wants to know what the other really thinks, what the other really feels. Huh? But there is a social connotation. In that case, I only want an emotional self-confirmation. Isn't that the case?
With this question.
Yes, if I want to know what others really think about me, I want to feel good.
But if there's something negative,
Yes,
would it not
then
be
I
good to
know
work on?
that I have to correct it.
Then I might
When
have
when
to
I
correct it.
when I feel bad, then I said, oh, I must have behaved bad. Now they must talk about it. That was really wrong to act the way I did.
But isn't it implies being insecure?
Yes, exactly. All this here, it comes again, the whole chain of insecurity, of wanting to be liked. Wanting to be liked.
Everyone wants to be liked.
Everyone wants to be liked.
To a certain extent.
But you have to use your reason, let's say, not the emotions. You shouldn't listen to your emotions. Otherwise you get entrapped. And with the other people's opinion, if everybody thinks negatively, for instance, about you, then you might, you might decide to suicide. So for God's sake, my life was hard because everybody.
There are risks. Yes, you're right. There are risks with the idea of wanting to be liked, because if you want to be liked, you end up doing things you don't want to do in order to be liked by the others. So that's a very sure way to end up in the leash of Perso.
Have you seen the illustration of person?
No, but I know what it is.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I don't know much about it, but yeah.
But you just said yourself, everything we do is
We do with regard for the others.
And that's
So
the
we
point
cannot-
I was trying to talk about.
We cannot be someone else simply because someone else is always a part of ourselves. That we have this as a rule. So if I want to be liked by the others, I make an invitation to the others. I invite them into my mind. I act in a way so that they like me. But if I act in a way so that they like me, then I am their victim. Then I am acting, but I am not an independent person.
You become a victim. You listen.
The reliable money making stock tip. Who was on that?
you do.
Do you have financial problems? So, okay. Yes. For you are not applying a job at the CIA. If you face such a question, never choose this one. Simply because if you want a reliable money-making stock tip, that's an indication that you have financial problems. Because if you would not have financial problems, you wouldn't care about a money-making thing. No, you would have other preferences. The thing is, it even comes as number one.
So
They are so tricky. You have no idea. It comes as number one.
Yeah,
It's also interesting that it's the stock market.
Yes.
The stock market is not, the word reliable and stock market
The-
do not go together.
The stock market, that's gambling.
Does it mean
That's gambling. Those who gamble at the stock market, they are desperate. They might
not
have,
always.
yes, they might have debts. And why do they have debts?
If you invest and withdraw your money
Yeah.
within a certain period of time when you have made some profit, this is wise. This is what wise people do in stock exchange.
Generally, it's
Yeah, but-
for
yeah.
you who want a job. It is not wise
To reveal that they have
to
financial problems.
that's what I need.
does it really mean, does it also mean, like for me, I had an impression when I read it, that it means that you would do a job even though it's not ethical, just because of the money? Does it imply as well? Because I see it that way.
Yes, even though that's another connotation, because money is something very
Or
personal. It has